So this is a little tutorial on how to change your oil. For those of you who don't know, or maybe you just want a reminder, whatever. I'm just gonna show you how. So first off, you're gonna need a filter wrench. I think this is the most specialized tool that you need for this project. Filters come in all different sizes, that's why I've got two, one's big and one's small. You need engine oil. This is just left over from my last oil change. Doesn't quite take 5 quarts, so got a little left over I'm going to use first. The rest of it's right here. There. Now that you've got all the stuff you're going to need, next thing to do is locate. You're going to need to locate your engine oil drain plug. And this is pretty simple. You just have to get to the back gear block. Wasn't working out as well as I hoped it would with the headlamp, but pretty much just have to find your engine oil valve, or your drain plug rather. That's this one here, and it's located, you know, right where your bell housing meets your engine block, right in the back, the lowest point. So when you open it, all your oil comes out, and of course your filter, which you're also going to replace, is right up there. Right, next thing you're going to have to do is find what size it is. My plug is 13 millimeters, but yours may be different depending upon the specifications. So now, this is just my oil pan. Put that under it, and you're just going to loosen the plug. Sorry, I'm a righty, so this is all backwards. And loosen is this way, of course. Let me just grab the box end. There you go. I'm not using rubber gloves. It's probably a good idea for you too, though. There you go. And there's some oil. And there it goes. And of course, got your bolt. If it falls into the bottom of the pan, it's not really a big deal. You just have to fish it out and put it back in before you dump more oil in. So you just let that drain. It's good to let it drip for 5 minutes, maybe 10 if you're, you know, patient and have the time or whatever. But just let all the oil run out of the engine. While you're doing this, just waiting for it to drain, you can take out your filter. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Ew, now my hands are all oily. How do I turn off the camera? Now while our oil's draining, we can put in our new filter. Pretty much, like I said, you need the wrench, or else, I don't know, if you can get creative you might be able to find some other way, but it's a lot easier to just use a wrench. You're going to want a plastic bag and a rag before you try to take this out, just so that you have somewhere to put the filter and clean it up a little bit before, you know, or else it drips everywhere. For anyone who might not know how to use one of these, just I'll show you ahead of time. So your filter pokes out like that, and this just slides on, then you twist it, and it locks onto that filter. So you can see your filter right down there in the, you know, lower driver's hand side of the engine block. You're going to have to be under the car for this one too. So get your plastic bag and of course your wrench. This is going to be just like any other thing that you unscrew. Just, you know, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So, once we put this on that way, loosen. Oops. Now it started to dent it. Don't want that. The great part about this is that it works like a ratchet too. And you can't see it, but actually I have my plastic bag right under it so that when it comes off, I can just plop it right down into the bag without making a big mess all over the floor. Alright, and at this point I can actually use the wrench and just do this by hand. Damn it, now I messed up the angle. And oil has started leaking out of here already. Oops. There we go. See how it just comes off just like that? Alright. So as you can see, it made a bit of a mess. It's dripping along with everything else down here. Sorry about that. Alright, and that's what we had our rag for. Let's clean that up in a minute. But for now, just take the filter. You're just going to want to empty it into the rest of the oil. After your filter's pretty much empty, just put it in your plastic bag. And you really want to try to get as much oil as you can out of it, because the less that goes into the landfill, the better. Of course, this floor is going to have a stain on it now, but oh well. And looks like that engine is pretty much done dripping, so we can take our plug and put it back in. When you're putting these back in, just remember it's only holding back, in my case, 4.5 quarts of oil. It's not, doesn't really have any real load on it, so you want to get it tight enough so that oil's not going to drip out, but not so tight that you can't get it off next time. So just give it a good little tug, but don't seize it on. And your new oil filter goes on exactly like the other one came off, just screws right in. And same thing, you want to get it tight enough to hold the oil in, but not so tight that it won't come off next time when you need to change it. Alright, so now that our drain plug and oil filter are back where they should be, it's time to put the new oil back in. This is when the funnel comes in really, really handy. Make sure it's not too dirty. Alright, so this is the half quart of oil that I was showing you earlier. It's from leftover from last time I did this. And if I wasn't so oily, I might be able to get the cover off of it. Whoops. Yeah, so that's not going to open at this very moment. I'll do it after. I'll just show you the real one first. Alright. So for this one, just cover off. It's got these nice little grooves so I can actually hold on to it. And then, you know, this is full, so let's be careful. Just Put it in. And you're going to be able to tell how much you've put in just by this handy gauge on the back. It's a little too bright. Alright, so you can see I put in like 1/4 of a quart. And I'm going to put it all the way down to where it says 1 quart down there. I'm going to put it all in, and then the last half quart is in that jar right there. So I'll have 1 quart of oil left over. If I do this 10 times, 9 times actually, I won't need to buy any more oil. I'll have enough left over. So that's 4.5 quarts, which I know is how much oil this thing takes, but let's put that back on there. But just to be sure, let's check this dipstick. Yep, that's right where it needs to be. It's tough to do with one hand. Alright, and then let's not forget this mess that we left under the car. Alright, so the oil you generally dump back into the bottle that the new oil came in. Then you just bring that to AutoZone or whatever and they'll take it. And then just wipe the pan out with a rag. Can't really spray it out with water because it's oil, so it doesn't do anything to it. Alright guys, I hope that helped. Yeah, like I said, if you didn't know before, then I hope you feel a bit more confident changing your oil on your own now. Okay.